Christmas is coming, the snowflakes will be falling. It's the most wonderful time of year. So hang up your stockings, put the tinsel on the tree, because Christmas is coming, my dear. It's the only time of year the reindeer fly. You can't see them on their sleigh ride across the sky. Gather all your family round, or go out and paint the town. It's the only time of year the whole wide world turns upside down. So baby, light a fire, and we'll toast the night away, because Christmas is coming our way. Reindeer fly. You can't see them on their sleigh ride across the sky. Gather all your friends around, or go out and paint the town. It's the only time of year the whole wide world turns upside down. So baby, light a fire, and we'll toast the night away, because Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming our way. is coming, the snowflakes will be falling. It's the most wonderful time of year. So hang up your stockings, put the tinsel on the tree, because Christmas is coming, my dear. It's the only time of year the reindeer fly. You can see them on their sleigh ride across the sky. Gather all your family round, or go out and paint the town. It's the only time of year the whole wide world turns upside down. So baby, light a fire and we'll toast the night away, because Christmas is coming our way. Reindeer fly. You can't see them on their sleigh ride across the sky. Gather all your friends around, or go out and paint the town. It's the only time of year the whole wide world turns upside down. So baby, light a fire and we'll toast the night away, because Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming our way.
evening, everybody, and welcome to the December 14th Reorganization Board of Education meeting. It's now 5:12, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. And I'm going to ask John Hanover if he would be so kind as to lead us in the flag salute.
I will, thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Marcus.
Before I introduce and for the singers and the entertainment, I'd just like to welcome some dignitaries from our city council that are here tonight, and I thank them for coming. I'd like to welcome Mr. Lester Friedman, Dr. Julian Gold, Mr. Robert Wunderlich, and again, George Chavez from the office. I don't think I missed anybody. I hope I didn't. Okay. And so at this point, it would give me a great deal of pleasure to introduce a customary traditional thing, and that is that the madrigal singers will entertain us. So are we out there ready to come in?
With the ones we hold so dear, friendly faces, warm embraces. Oh, what a merry Christmas day! Snowflake-covered country lanes, Jack Frost painted window panes, twinkling stars on Christmas trees. Oh, what happy memories gather round the fireplace, families filled with love and grace. From the peaceful embers glow, blessed Yuletide spirits grow, grow and grow, grow and grow. Joy to the children far and near, what a wondrous time of year. Isn't it just grand to say,
Merry, Merry Christmas,
Merry, Merry Christmas,
Merry, Merry Christmas,
Merry, Merry Christmas. Oh, what a Merry Christmas day.
Very graciously to sing a few of our hits here for you. So without further ado, we're going to sing some Christmas songs. Please, if you know them, feel free to sing along. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dooba-dooba-dooba-doo, dooba-dooba-dooba-doo, 2, 3, 4.
Frosty the snowman was a jolly old
With a corn cob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal. Dooba-dooba-dooba-doo,
Frosty the snowman was a jolly old
He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day. Dooba-dooba, there must have been some magic in that old top hat they found. For when they put it on his head, he began to dance around. Dooba-dooba-dooba-doo, dooba-doo, 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 doo-doo-doo-doo. Running here and there all around the square, saying, catch me if you can. But Frosty the snowman had to hurry, hurry on his way. So he waved goodbye, saying, don't you cry, I'll be back again someday. Bumpity-bum-bum, bumpity-bum-bum, ooh, oh, 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 bumpity-bum-bum, bumpity-bum-bum, over the hills of snow.
We've got a real treat for you here, this next one. So please, if everybody feels like they should do this, get your keys out. We're going to be singing Jingle Bells for you. When the chorus comes, and believe me, you'll know when that happens, feel free to just jingle along with us, please.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha ha ha! Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bryce was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. We got into a drifter's bank and we got it sought. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is white, go with fun and run. Take a girl tonight and sing a sleighing song. Just get up off the rack, use morning for the speed. Ignition to an up and say, crackle, tickle, dee, let's on! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, the weather outside is frightful,
And the fun is so delightful,
and since we've no place to go, let it snow, do-do-da-da. Oh, it doesn't show signs of stop, and then it runs and goes from popping, oh, and the lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, when we finally kiss goodnight. How I hate going down the storm, but if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Oh, the fire is slowly dying, but my dear, we're still goodbying. Oh, as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry. in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas.
Children laughing,
People passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you'll hear all those silver bells, hear those silver bells saying it's Christmas time. In the city of
listen to the bells that
ring-a-ling, you can hear them ring saying soon it will be Christmas Day.
strings of street lights,
Even stoplights blink a bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures.
see the snow crunch,
See the kids punch, this is Santa's big scene. And above all this bustle you'll hear all those silver bells, hear those silver bells saying it's Christmas time. In the city, listen to the bells that ring-a-ling, you can hear them ring saying soon it will be Christmas Day.
Go ahead and
Okay. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. This is a new carol to our repertoire. This is a song called Mele Kalikimaka, which is Merry Christmas in Hawaiian. And if you notice, there is a ukulele on my back. That will be used for this one. So I need to see them use this. Oh, actually, I should. I can hold it. You got to read it.
Well, I can read it off.
Oh, there's the So, rock and roll. Ready? It's free.
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Bells upon a steel guitar, through the palms we see the same bright star.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mele-Kalikimaka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be free and bright. The sun will shine by day and all the stars at night. Mele-Kalikimaka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. Mele-Kalikimaka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day.
sing along with us.
That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be free and bright. The sun will shine by day and all the stars at night. Mele-Kalikimaka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you all with a bright and cheerful call. Merry Christmas to you all with a bright and cheerful call. Hi ho, let it ring and echo bring. Hi ho, Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you all with a bright and cheerful call. Merry Christmas to you all with a bright and cheerful call. Hi ho, let it ring and echo bring. Hi ho, Merry Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas to you all with a bright and cheerful call. Merry Christmas to you all with a bright and cheerful call. Hi ho, let it ring and echo bring. Hi ho, Merry Christmas to you all.
Thank you. Wow, that was wonderful. What a wonderful treat. Merry Christmas. Wow. That just shows how great our students are. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Ethan Smith and his Madrigal Singers. Terrific. Okay, at this time I would love to get an approval of the agenda.
I'd like to move to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Halimi has seconded. Mr. Margot made the motion. Could I get a call for the approval of the motion, starting with Mr. Raymer?
Yes.
Mr. Halimi?
Yes.
Dr. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Margot?
Yes.
Mrs. Wells?
Yes.
Mrs. Marcus is a yes. It passes 5-0 with a provisional 6-0 vote. Okay, there is any comment tonight, Dr. Berge?
No public comment this evening.
Thank you. Okay, next on the is approval of a resolution 2021-2022-14. Do I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021-2022-014.
And
I'll
can I get a
second.
second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Wells. Moved by Mr. Margot, seconded by Mrs. Wells. Can I call for the question? You want to read it? Do you want to
We're going to vote first.
Go first.
vote first? Okay, Mr. Raymer,
Yes.
Mr. Halimi,
Yes.
Dr. Stern,
Yes.
Mr. Margot,
Yes.
Mrs. Wells,
Yes.
and Mrs. Marcus is a yes. So it passes 5-0 with the provisional 6-0 vote.
All right.
And Mrs. Wells will take care of the presentation of the resolution.
Should I get up or should I sit? I think I'll sit.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Whereas Rochelle Marcus has served as president of Beverly Hills Unified School District from December 2020 to December 2021, and whereas she has worked vigorously to solidify a strong relationship with the superintendent's cabinet and the BHUSD labor partners, negotiating a swift and favorable 3-year collective bargaining agreement, and whereas she has been a strong advocate on behalf of all BHUSD students and staff, securing as many COVID layers of protection possible to keep our schools open for in-person learning. This includes BHUSD becoming the first district in Los Angeles County to enact a policy that requires a weekly student testing program. And whereas she has collected effectively with BHEA achieving multiple significant memorandum of understandings in a second unprecedented year of COVID-19 pandemic, and whereas she has been a relentless advocate for reestablishing a strategic plan and successfully implementing it for the first time in over a decade, and whereas she has worked tirelessly to protect the rights of the BHUSD community by making decisions to minimize the district's legal bill costs. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education does hereby honor Rochelle Marcus for her leadership and outstanding service on behalf of the Beverly Hills Unified School District, presented this 14th day of December 2021.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Want me to go up to the podium?
Yes.
Yes,
that'd be
I'd
great.
like to present this to you, actually. It is my honor to acknowledge the dedication and leadership of the outgoing president, Mrs. Rochelle Marcus. Rochelle, you are one of the most beloved people in this city. For over 50 years, you have taught generations of students with compassion and understanding as you have showed them the path to success. Your time as board president has been the same. You took the reins with as a well-seasoned teacher. You set high expectations, and you led with dedication and hard work. You set high expectation, and hard work. Not only did you contribute your years of wisdom, like all lifelong learners, you remained curious, willing to listen, and wanting to learn to be the best president that you could be. Not only have all of your decisions been based on what's best for our students, you are all about the students. I have watched you this past year. You've never missed a school event, and while attending an event, you never miss the opportunity to stop and connect in a meaningful way with our students. I'm proud of you and what you've accomplished as board president. It is my pleasure to present to you this plaque with gavel
Thank you.
in honor of your service and leadership and all that you have done this year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. As well, it is my pleasure to present this resolution to
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure that there are some other comments that board members.
Well, do you want me to make my statement, or?
Well, I was gonna have some people make some comments before you go last.
Whichever.
Which would you like to do?
Doesn't matter.
This is still your meeting.
I'll go ahead and make my statement.
I think that's good.
Good evening, everybody. Well, after I finished my 50 years of teaching, I could have sailed off into the sunset and enjoyed my retirement. But I wanted to stay connected and contribute to the Beverly Hills Unified Schools. My focus within the Beverly Hills Unified School District, from when I started as a physical education teacher at Horace Mann, to an 8th grade science teacher at El Rodeo, to the elementary science teacher at Hawthorne, was always about my students, who have always been my number one consideration. My term as president may be over, but I will continue on the board, will work our work is not finished. I still have 1 year left in my current term to continue to make our schools and students my number one priority. I know with this board we can continue to do so. It was an unusual year with many challenges, but also many highlights. After almost 18 months, we successfully returned to our classrooms and in-person instruction. We opened the remodeled B1 and B2 buildings at the high school. We completed renovations of the swim gym. We successfully negotiated a 3-year CBA with our unions. We completed an MOU agreement for the return to in-person learning. We created a governance calendar. We formed the Facilities and Construction Committee. We returned to a full athletic program and unanimously appointed Gabe Halimi as a provisional board member. All of this was only possible with the help of all the dedicated, certificated, and classified administration, our school board stakeholders, and community members. As a colleague of mine once said, it takes a village, and all our accomplishments this year could not have been done without everyone's participation and help. As I turn the gavel over to Mary Wells, I wish her the best during the next year as she takes over as the board president. I am looking forward to working with Mary, Noah, Mandy, Gabriel, as well as Eli, our current student board member, who is indicative of the amazing students we have in our public schools here in Beverly Hills. I may be stepping down as board president, but as board member, our work is not finished. I will continue to lead our district in the 2022 year and beyond. I will no longer have the last word, as you will hopefully not have to hear me say all the time. I echo my colleagues. At times, I will get a chance to speak first, and as countless former students and colleagues of mine will tell you, I will speak. I would like to thank our superintendent, Dr. Michael Breggy, and his amazing entire cabinet for their leadership and help during the past year. They have been there to guide me and give me direction in some very stressful times. And lastly, to my son and my daughter and their spouses and my grandchildren, I am indebted to them, for without them, I would not have been able to serve on the board. Thank you. And now, next in the order, I would like to make a motion to nominate Mary Wells as the next president of the Beverly Hills Unified School District.
And I would like to second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Haley. And I will, without question, now call for the vote. Mr. Raymer,
Yes.
Mr. Halimi,
Yes.
Dr. Stern,
Yes.
Mr. Margot,
Yes.
Mrs. Wells,
Yes.
and Mrs. Marcus is a yes. And for that, we now have a 5-0 vote, 6-0 with a provisional vote. I'll go down to the end of the table.
Okay.
Got your plaque?
And we're swearing in now. Can you come up? Do you want to
And we will begin our ceremony for swearing in. And I would like to introduce the person that is going to be introducing and swearing in Mary Wells. The Honorable Fred N. Wapner is a sitting judge in the Criminal Division of the Los Angeles County Superior Court. He was originally appointed to serve as a municipal court judge in 1989 by former Governor George Deukmejian and has served as an elected Superior Court judge for more than 25 years. Prior to being a judge, he served as a deputy district attorney for 14 years. Notably, he was the prosecutor who won the conviction for the 1986 high-profile Billionaire Boys Club case. Judge Wapner received his BA from the University of California, Santa Barbara, and his Juris Doctorate from the University of the Pacific McGeorge School of Law in 1975. Welcome, Judge Wapner.
Congratulations, Mary, on assuming the presidency of the Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education. Public service is one of the most important things that anybody can do, and doing it in the service of education of our children there's just nothing more important than that. If we didn't have public servants, you have no board. So thank you very much for doing that. I am a huge believer in public education. My grandparents came to this country as immigrants. The public schools allowed them to get an education, to provide education to their children, to their grandchildren. And no, it's okay. You're stuck with me, for better or worse.
Happily so.
My mom's mother never did go to school because she couldn't afford it. Not that she couldn't afford the education, she had to work. But she preached and preached to her kids the importance of education. And that was passed down to me. And
Thank you.
my aunt was a public school teacher for about 30 years. Our schools are more important now than ever. We hear stories from all over the country, people going to school board meetings, ban these books, you can't teach that. We can't be afraid of knowledge. We have to provide students with a solid foundation in knowledge. We have to teach them to be critical thinkers. We need strong leaders like you with the courage and the integrity to allow teachers to teach and students to learn, free from the politics of the moment. The Beverly Hills Unified School District has a reputation for being one of the best school districts in the state, if not the country. But that just doesn't happen automatically. It doesn't happen without the selfless dedication of people like you who are willing to give tirelessly of your time and your energy to make these schools work. So thank you very much for doing this important work.
Thank you.
Would you raise your right hand and repeat after me, please? I, Mary Wells, do solemnly swear
I, Mary Wells, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Judge Wapner, for the honor of having you install me as the board president. I'd like to thank all of you for being here this evening, and good evening. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank our city council, including Mayor Wunderlich, Vice Mayor Lily Bossie, council members John Marish, Julian Gold, Lester Friedman, and our city manager George Chavez, our police department, our fire department, and all of the wonderful city staff for your ongoing support. I'd like to thank Dr. Bragi, his cabinet and staff, our awesome PTA, BHEF, and the many committees and subcommittees for your commitment and support of our schools. And last, and by no means least, I want to acknowledge and thank my beautiful family. My husband, John, my son, Jacob, my daughters, Sydney and Cassidy. I love you immensely. You're my biggest fans, and everything I do, make everything I do worthwhile. It was 1 year ago that I was installed as a board member, and wow, what a year it has been. Mrs. Marcus has done a commendable job leading us through such turbulent times with her steadfast leadership, dedication, and demonstrated passion for students. This year, I have seen that when we work together, we achieve even greater things. I'm so honored to step into the role of board president. We are a district filled with passionate, talented, and engaged parents, students, teachers, and community members. Further, our city and community partners are dedicated to the success of our students and this district. We are fortunate to be a district with enormous opportunity. If we want to be the lighthouse district that I believe we all desire to be, then my time as president will be spent focusing on what is critical to this cause. First and foremost, I will improve the functionality of the board and bring about more collaboration between and amongst the board members and the community at all levels. I look forward to working with all of my colleagues to ensure transparency for the community, a robust education for our children, and an efficient and well-conceived building plan for our facilities. By accomplishing this, we will continue to successfully confront the challenges brought about by the pandemic and continue to implement protocols and safety measures necessary to keep our schools open. Our students, teachers, staff, and families continue to endure heightened levels of stress and anxiety that must be addressed. We must find ways to lessen the impact that the pandemic has had on our mental health and social and emotional well-being. We must review and continue to ensure that our schools and our students remain in safe learning environments, both physically and emotionally. We can address declining enrollment by identifying ways to increase our visibility and make long-term plans to include a dedicated early education program. This is where parents and students form lifelong friendships, which in turn anchors their commitment to public education. We must resolve the issues that are impeding our construction program and bring the building process to completion as efficiently, quickly, and successfully as possible. I believe that incorporating these actions into our strategic plan will provide a roadmap that will bring this district back to the stature of delivering the highest education at the highest levels. I intend to collaborate with our community members and community leaders, many who are here tonight, who support this district and look forward to the collective insights into things that we can do better. I'm inspired and optimistic about working together with my colleagues and strengthening our board as a deliberative team with respect and the decorum that will attract future leaders to this board and will model for our students and community what we expect from each other. The president's term is only 1 year, but I hope to set us up on a path where subsequent presidents can build on the success of this year and to help the district grow and improve. I look forward to partnering with Dr. Bragi and supporting him and his amazingly talented cabinet as they work to achieve the goals we have identified. I look forward to building a collaborative partnership with our city to elevate our schools in the best city in the world. Thank you again for being here tonight in support of our district. I am humbled by the support I've received throughout this past year. It is remarkable to see so many of you here tonight. Thank you all and have a great evening.
Here we go. Here we go. Yep. It's all yours.
Okay. Okay. May I have a motion to nominate the vice president? Dr. Stern?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Noah Margot for vice president.
I will second the motion.
Okay, any discussion? All right, so we have a roll call vote. Mr. Raymer?
Yes.
Mrs. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Halimi?
Yes.
Dr. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Margot?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. So this passes 5-0. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mr. Margot.
I mean, I'm a little bit concerned that he doesn't have enough experience to do this, but I'm going to let it slide.
I have enough experience to know I shouldn't be doing it.
And he's not from here. Where's he from?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we're going to have the ceremonial installation of the vice president, Mr. Margot, and I believe that Mr. Goldstein
Yes.
is going to install.
Yes. Honorable Howard Goldstein is a former governing board member of the Beverly Hills Unified School District. Howard has volunteered for our community for over a decade, serving as the Horace Mann PTA president, chairperson of the CBOC, president of our school board twice, currently chairs the Facility and Construction Committee. Professionally, Howard is a civil trial and appellate attorney representing plaintiffs in class action matters. Howard is admitted to practice in the state of California before the United States District Court, the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, and the Supreme Court of the United States. Welcome, Howard.
Well, the Honorable Judge Wapner, that's a hard act to follow. If I knew I would
You're all lawyers.
I know, I would have prepared a speech. You know, I was thinking back.
No, it's really good that you did.
Yeah, I know. Usually I start with everybody get comfortable, but given the lateness of the hour, I was thinking back to the 5 decades that we've known each other. And I was thinking of the service that you've provided to this community. I think there are very few people over the years that have epitomizes what it truly means to be a member of a community, somebody that gives of their time, somebody that gives of themselves. And you've had a very difficult year, and I know your father would be very, very proud of you tonight. I remember back in 2000 or so when we were PTA presidents, you had Beverly Vista, me had Horace Mann, and we thought about the wonderful district that raised us, the education that we had from tremendous educators. You have one sitting here tonight, Mrs. Marcus. You have a school board member that was a student here, a student board member. This is a community that always gives back to each other. And I look around this room, and there are many people that have provided service throughout the years. And you just look around, and there's people like Les. Yes, Les, wake up. No, and it's important. It's an important aspect of this community because we've been here a very long time. We've gone through our schools. We've volunteered for this city. But as I look for this district, the importance of having you on this school board, somebody who's been a rock, somebody who's been someone that's stable, somebody that has shown compassion to the students, somebody who always talks about education first. I've been watching many of school boards, including the one I was on, and shared some time with you and watching this school board. And it's good to see that this school board is getting back to education first. That's so important. You do so many things as a school board with construction and with our athletic programs and with the madrigals and performing arts. We do so much here as a district. But the stability that you've provided over the years has been really something that you should be proud of. I know your family's proud of, your children are proud of. And if you do this for a fourth term, maybe your grandchildren will be proud of you. So with that, I don't want to take up too much of everyone's time. If you would raise your right hand, Mr. Margot. I, Noah Margot.
I, Noah Margot.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Mr. Margot, congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome back as governing officer.
You know, I've hollered for years to always say, let the president have the last word in this ceremony, not the vice president, but they still, I feel like the opening act that forgot to go on at the right time. Rochelle, since you passed your opportunity for all of us to laud you and got right out of that seat, we do want to give you our appreciation for your dedication to this district over the years and for serving during a very difficult year as the board president and knowing what a better year might look like. It was absolutely a difficult year. So I really appreciate your service in leading this board. And the fact that almost everywhere you go, no matter what the age group is, somebody is saying, "Hi, Mrs. Marcus," you know, it's amazing, your touch in the community. Thank everybody, including my family that's here tonight, my wife Laura, my mother Abby, and my daughter Reese. My son is in finals. My other son is in New York. So thank staff, all of our city dignitaries that are here. George, good to see you. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention also the hard work that Tristan Walker-Schumann put in on her years on the board, serving with us and dedicating her time, that got through a lot of this very difficult year as well, and all the accomplishments that Mrs. Marcus brought up. But I won't take up anybody's time. We have a little bit more business to do. President Wells put it very succinctly on what we have in front of us and what we need to accomplish, and I agree with that. And we'll do so diplomatically, and we may not always agree, but we will work together. And I think that's the most important thing. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I look forward to a wonderful year coming up. Thank you, Dr. Breggy, and have a good rest of the evening. Oh, I forgot to say Commissioner Margot. Sorry, honey. Whoops. My bad.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the selection of a clerk to the Board of Education. And I'll just remind everybody that when we last selected the clerk to the Board of Education, we discussed having the clerk be the same position as the vice president. So if everybody still agrees with that, then I would suggest that we select Mr. Margot as the clerk.
I will so move and stipulate.
Thank you.
I make a motion?
I don't think
an
we need to
approval.
vote on it, so.
It's not an
It's just a
approval,
selection.
Okay.
just a selection.
Okay, so we will,
Thank you, President Wells. I'll be happy to
you'll accept?
add that to
Terrific.
my virtual business card.
Wonderful. Okay, but I would like a motion for the adoption of annual motions.
I'll move to adopt the annual motions.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Okay, let's have a vote. Mr. Raymer?
Yes.
Mrs. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Halimi?
Yes.
Dr. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Margot?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. This motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is the approval of certification of signatures.
I'll make a motion to approve the certification of signatures.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Mr. Raymer?
Yes.
Mrs. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Halimi?
Yes.
Dr. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Margot?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. This passes 5-0. May I have a motion for the approval of board meeting dates for January 2022 through December 2023?
So moved.
22, sorry.
So moved.
And I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Raymer?
Yes.
Mrs. Marcus?
Yes.
Mr. Halimi?
Yes.
Dr. Stern?
Yes.
Mr. Margot?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. This passes 5-0. May I have a motion for the election of a representative to the Los Angeles County Committee of School District Organization in October, November?
Well, I think we have to elect somebody, don't we?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
we
not
do.
sure. Is that a motion or just a?
It's not a motion, it's an election of a representative.
You're right. We have to elect somebody. In this case,
Yeah, I had filled
it's
in.
similar with this election. We chose. I believe we have to do a motion for the election for the representative, but first we selected the LACT, the LACTA representative, and I would suggest that we make the person who is the representative as well the representative for the election.
So
And-
E and F will be the same person?
Yes.
Okay. So I had just finished doing it because I filled in for the rest of the year, but I don't need to continue in that role if somebody else would like to take over that.
So I'm going to suggest that we're reversing. We're going to do the selection of the annual representative first, and then we'll do the election because they're tied together.
Mm-hmm.
So for the selection of the annual representative, is there anybody that would like to take that role on?
And typically this is, it was quarterly. They've been doing monthly meetings. They've
On Zoom, yeah.
been hybrid, Zoom to hybrid for some of them. But I believe that the next several will be a Zoom meeting. Otherwise, it's a travel to to another district.
May I just ask if Mr. Margot is open to continuing in the role?
My car is in the shop. Shh. Monte's a little out of my biking range. I could continue. I don't know which ones I'll be able to make in person. I can easily attend the Zoom ones, but since I don't hear anybody chomping at the bit here, I'll be happy to continue in that role. And I did do the election of the representative for the LA County Committee of School District Organization. I did turn in the votes for that. I did turn in the votes on behalf of the district, so that's really I think a once a year fill out a form online. So it's really not any commitment, but
Okay.
yes, I guess.
Well, then I would, I'll accept that, Noah, Mr. Margot.
No,
So
it's
Noah
Mr.
Margot
Halimi brought it
will
up.
be the annual representative to the Los Angeles County School Trustees Association. And I would recommend then as well that we make a motion to elect a representative to the Los Angeles County Committee of School District Organization in October and November. And do I have a nomination for that to be Mr. Margot?
So moved.
Mr. Halimi, my
I'll
wife
second
is
that.
shooting daggers at you right now.
And I believe we've discussed, so I'll call for the vote.
Can we just get clarification, Ms. Kraushauer? Is this an actual vote for this position?
Yes, it's written as.
As election, but it is approval. Okay,
I would go with the vote.
okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Raymer,
Yes.
Mrs. Marcus,
Yes.
Mr. Halimi,
Yes.
Dr. Stern,
Yes.
Mr. Margot,
Yes.
and I am a yes, so that is 5-0. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you.
I felt like a 3-year-old. Do I have to?
And thank you.
Terrific. Okay, so now we are at the next item on the agenda is board liaisons. And this really is a discussion item. The first is city liaisons, and as is the practice, it is the president and the vice president. The next commission is the Health and Safety Commission. I have been currently on the Health and Safety Commission. I think it's a really fantastic commission. I really love all the people on that commission. It's really informative. It meets once a week. Is there somebody that would like to take
I'll take
this?
that. I did it once when I was not the president, and I did it the year before, so I'd be happy to step
Okay.
into that particular position again.
Okay. Then I'll move on unless anybody has any objections. For the Human Relations Committee, this meets once a month, and currently Dr. Stern has been attending.
I'm happy to continue in that capacity, if that is okay, unless.
Everybody agree?
You-
Okay.
No,
That'll be Dr. Stern. The Finance Committee meets once a month.
I believe that I was on it previously, and I would love to be able to continue in that position.
Terrific. Anybody else? We've had 2 people on the Finance Committee, but it's not necessary that we need to have 2, as far as I don't believe it says on the bylaws. So why don't we leave it, I'm sorry, Gabe?
I'm but happy to be like but alternate occasionally if Ms. Marcus can't go.
That's
I will
terrific.
attend.
Okay, so I'll have Mrs. Marcus and Mr. Halimi. The next committee is the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, which is near and dear to my heart, of course. And Mrs. Marcus and I have been attending that. Is there anyone that would like to step into that position?
Nobody else wishes to do it. You want to?
Mr. Halimi, I think that would be an excellent opportunity.
Thank you for volunteering me.
See, that's how it feels.
Well,
If they're voluntold is what they call it. I'm happy to participate in that. If Mrs. Marcus and Ms. Wells would like to continue, that's fine too. I'm only here for a year, so I don't. If there's already the continuity going on, that's okay with me.
I'm happy for you to step into that, and I'm happy to be a backup for you as well.
Okay.
And Mrs. Marcus, of course. Is that correct, Mrs. Marcus? You're going to stay on it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you.
That's fine.
Okay. That brings us to board communications. And I will start with Mr. Raymer.
Well, alrighty. Since I did not get to say it earlier, I just want to say a big thank you to Mrs. Marcus for the support that she's given me throughout her tenure as president while I've been on the board. There is no fiercer advocate for student rights that I have seen in a very long time. Mrs. Marcus was happy to attend a couple of student advocacy conferences, one of which I participated in as a panelist as well, and the other one that I helped plan, where she heard proposals from students all across the county on ways that they thought that their schools could be bettered, and so she was happy to attend those, as well as happy to hear from student groups like Gen Up, which is a statewide organization that has a chapter at Beverly Hills High School, who worked very hard to present a student bill of rights to our school board that Mrs. Marcus heard. So I just want to say thank you very much for the support you've given me and to the support that you've given all of our students.
It was my pleasure. My turn?
Mrs. Marcus.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to just start by saying that I was pretty choked up when I was introducing my family. But I'd like to introduce my son, Marty Marcus, my grandson, Mr. Ilan Marcus, my son-in-law, Paul Weiser, and my daughter, Jackie Weiser. So I just wanted to, and I have to reiterate that without their support during the past year, it would have been almost impossible to succeed as a board president. I would like to just also mention that this past week I had the wonderful opportunity to attend two of the high school performances. One was the orchestra and one was the vocal concerts that they both gave, and they were outstanding. It was such a pleasure to attend them and to see our young people. The way they performed was amazing, and I'd like to compliment the people, Mr. Bradbury and Mr. Smith, on both of their groups. They were outstanding. And with that in mind, I'd just like to wish everyone a very safe, healthy vacation. Please stay well, stay safe, and take all the protocols very seriously so that we can keep our schools open. That's the most important thing in the world to me. And with that, I will pass it on to you, Mr. Halimi.
Go ahead.
Mr. I just want to check with the new president first to make sure I'm allowed to speak. First of all, I wanted to say thank you to Mrs. Marcus. You are a gem. You're a gem of a teacher, you're a gem of a community member, and a gem of a board member. And your involvement in the community goes beyond just our schools. As we know, you've been involved in your synagogue and so many other things. And we're just so lucky to have you. And I'm thrilled to get to sit next to you for the next year.
I'm looking forward to
that
it.
will be really nice.
Student.
Yeah, student. Really, I've known Mrs. Marcus a very long time, and I'm thrilled. And it wasn't. I don't think it was easy for you to even, if I may say, even in some ways support someone who thinks so differently than you, or who was very open to maybe challenging you, both as a student, and I think you knew as also maybe as a board member too. But you've always been a wonderful person to work with as a student, and you've been wonderful as a board member, and I think it speaks volumes for who you are, that you encouraged me not only to be on this board and supported me being on this board, and I just think you're wonderful. So thank you, Mrs. Marcus. I'm very thrilled to have Mrs. Wells as the new president. I know we're going to accomplish a lot over the next year. Can't think of a better person to lead us through the next year, and I'm thrilled, and I'm also very happy to continue to have Noah's experience on this board, and I'm just very excited. And of course, Dr. Stern, I'm very excited for all that we're going to accomplish on this board over the next year. I'm very excited for that. I know that this is going to be a great working team. So thank you all.
I'd like to start with saying, Rochelle, thank you so much for all that you have done. I have worked with you for a year, and in that time, it is true that whenever I'm by your side, you'll say, that was one of my students. And you remember their names, and they always greet you fondly. And I think that really rings true with how you have been on the board as someone who really does think very much about the achievement and the well-being of the students, and how that pairs with our educators. And you are someone who speaks your mind, and you feel good about what you say, and you intelligently articulate your position. I think that you have given great assets to our district, and I am thrilled that you will, of course, remain. And now I just have to remember to look this way to see you instead of over there. And I'd also just like to say that I very much enjoyed the madrigals, and kind of caught me off guard. I got a little teary-eyed. And I also hope that everyone has their keys in the right place, that like no one accidentally picked up anyone else's keys, and, so please make sure you have your keys. And that's it, and thank you.
I want to thank KBEV. We always forget to thank KBEV. Thank you, KBEV. Thank you, Ricky and everybody else. I appreciate you guys. We all do. Mary, I wish you all the success this year, and your success is our success, so that's what we should all promote. To the students, good luck on your finals. I didn't direct that at you, Reese. I'm talking about all of them. And good luck hearing from colleges as that starts to roll in. We're excited for all of you. Staff, all of you, administration and faculty, have a wonderful, wonderful rest and vacation. You guys need it. It seems that the Greek alphabet is still nipping at our heels here with this thing, so hopefully you'll get rest and we can face the new year with some renewed spirit. Like Mrs. Marcus said, Happy New Year and happy holidays to everyone, and we will see you in January.
Well, I'll just say quickly, congratulations, Noah. And again, Mrs. Marcus, thank you so much for your service. The one last thing I would say about Mrs. Marcus is that her demonstration of true grit this last year is really something to be admired. And I know she's had a lot going on in her family life, and she's never missed a meeting. She couldn't be more dedicated to the work that she's been doing and focused. And it really is exemplary, her example of how to overcome adversity. And I'm really, really honored to be a part of that. So thank you again. And I know Dr. Brady would also like to make some comments.
Thank you. It has just been such a privilege to work so closely with you as our board president. You genuinely have our students in your highest concern. You've been so supportive of me, our cabinet, all the staff here in BHUSD, and I thank you for all of your work, especially on the negotiations team, strategic plan, and our many interview committees that you've sat on. As you've heard tonight many times, you are highly visible in our community, and you've made it a priority to attend district events. Everything from wrestling meets to music, football, to being a judge at the science fair. It's been a lot of fun to be around you as your former students and your former staff and colleagues are always coming up to you, praising you, and recognizing you due to your tireless dedication to our district. I've observed you anguish over making unpopular decisions with some segments in our community, and lesser people would have taken the easy way out, and you did not do that. Mrs. Marcus, you've not only rose to the challenges of what a board president in that position requires, but you've exceeded those expectations, and it's been such a pleasure to work with you. And Mrs. Wells, I want you to listen to this next part. So as part of my responsibility as superintendent, I meet with the board president to create the agenda for the board meetings. And I just want to let you know that Mrs. Marcus would open up her home to me. I would have a fresh brisket sandwich like no other as we would create this agenda. And we spent a lot of time putting the agenda together, and with a cold diet Dr. Pepper as well. So I don't know what you've got in store for me, but good luck topping that. It will be a pleasure to work with you.
It will be a pleasure to work with you and all of my colleagues. I really look forward to this next year. And it is been a little bit longer meeting than we anticipated, so I am going to adjourn this meeting. It is 6:13, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming.